Wow, this guy's what is that, bro? Oh, is that? Oh, yeah, on brand, baby.
It's erudite.
That's good.
On brand, baby. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today?
Happy Sunday.
For being with us. Happy Sunday. TBC 81.
Are we sure?
Jordan, are you proud of me?
Are we
81.
sure?
81.
My
You
son!
did it right this time.
My son!
81, baby. I got it this time. I actually looked ahead. Yeah. So we took last week off. It's my fault. I was exhausted. I had the 12 days caught up to me. So my boys here, my sons, they rode with me. So appreciate you guys. And I'm happy to be back. We're happy to be back. It's going to be a great conversation. We've been dying to talk about Elden Ring and other stuff. But realistically, it's really just mostly Elden Ring. Let's not lie to each other. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, just with everything else peppered in. But I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for being with us. I'm Mo, Dr. Mo Kauma. I'm here with my sons, the dashing debonair himself. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. I am house sitting currently, so for those that are curious what this background is, this is an office. It's not my law office. This is actually an office. So
looks professional.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice gig. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's different than your regular room with the pole behind you. You know. Yeah. So.
The pole's upstairs. Unfortunately, I thought I entertained the idea of doing the cast from the pole room, but I think that's after dark special we'll have to do.
Told you, man. Pole dancing during our intermission would have been great for the audience.
Thought about it. But the reason why we're partially late is because I had to I attempted to, unsuccessfully so, corral up my neighbor's chickens, and they're still outside, so I'll probably have to freaking get them indoors sometime before the damn eagle in the nest over here gets after them.
I like this talk, Jordan.
That's good.
But aside from that, we'll touch on it. But let me just say that Elden Ring is probably my favorite game of all time.
Wow!
And that is after 90 hours.
Wow,
that's not that much.
That is
just
bold,
not enough to know.
Yeah,
that is bold. That's pretty fucking bold, my son.
It's
that's
good,
bold, man. Wow,
it's good.
But you know what? It's creeping up there. It's creeping up there. That's for damn sure. Well, that's good, man. I'm happy to hear that. Well, we'll talk about it. And then next to you is my salt and pepper son.
Yo.
How you doing, sir?
I'm just excited to be on the show with my best friends on the internet. And, you know, I'm just happy to be here. I've had a pre-show boner for hours now, and I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's I'm glad everybody wanted to know that. Well,
hey, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Jordan, look at that. Def Floyd, 60 hours in, can't stop, won't stop.
That's what I'm talking about,
baby. I love the energy. You know what? Here, Nick's asked a question for the panel. How much PTO do you guys have for gaming? Last week, no show, no boy. Hey, can somebody tell my old ass what PTO is?
Like paid time off,
personal time off, paid time off, all that stuff.
We don't get paid.
I get 2 days every 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I will say that last week, Mike and I did do an upload for Elden Ring in lieu of no live show. So we should put the link in this chat at some point. But yeah, that's that. There's that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, man. Oh yeah. All right, cool, man. Awesome. Mike, my son. What's up, baby?
Pretty good, Mo. Pretty good. Like others on the panel, oh man, I'm consumed by Elden Ring at a unhealthy rate. We will talk about that later.
You know,
but what's up, baby?
The one thing I wanted to mention, you know, I mean, I think this is funny. I'm sure there are people who are probably sick of seeing all of the Elden Ring posts on Twitter, you know, by everybody, you know, but for those of you who are sick of the Elden Ring posts and people talking about Elden Ring, now you know how we feel about Breath of the Wild when it's mentioned 24/7. So all is fair in love and war, baby.
Man, I just can't help when I play that game. My brain is just in wherever, I don't even know. Hyrule? Is it Hyrule in Breath of the Wild?
Hyrule is Breath of the Wild.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just in Hyrule. Yeah, Limgrave? Nah, son. Hyrule? Yeah.
Hyrule, baby. That's awesome, man. Good shit. That's great. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, Been a good week. And you know, I worked this weekend. This weekend was pretty badass. Not gonna lie. Even with work, you know, considering Elden Ring and the Batman, which I'll get into in a bit. I know we're gonna talk about what we played and shit. But yeah, awesome. Glad to hear that. I hope everybody here with us as well has had a good week and had a good weekend. And Luke did mention something earlier that I promised him I would say. Please say aloud. Here it is. Shout out to Ainsley Bowden for doing the legwork and all of the onboarding for Elden Ring that From Software should have done themselves. That guy is a hero. While I promised you I would say it, I don't necessarily agree 100%. But I love you, Luke.
You know, next time we need to make a super chat and charge him for that shit.
Ains isn't even
we know,
here, man.
we know he's loaded.
Oh shit, Bizzle, what's up, man? Good to see you here with us, brother. All right, so you know, I want. Oh yeah, for everybody today, we're doing Drama Alert. It's coming back. For those of you that don't know what Drama Alert is, we basically select tweets from Twitter, random Twitter tweets, dramatic takes on whatever it is that's going on, and you know, we just try to read it in a theatrical fashion, obviously, and we do thank the contributors, the indirect contributors, for their contributions. It's always appreciated. So we'll do that in a bit. But let me see. I understand. Let me see. I understand a lot of people love Elden Ring that feel it's game of the year, but the year is not over yet. And you're right. You are absolutely.
That's a solid argument. That is a solid argument.
Facts.
No. He's right. Yeah, you can't. You're absolutely right. You know, that is actually objective. That is objective. You know, because the year is not over yet, obviously. But the one thing I will say is I think the feelings that this game is invoking, you know, fuck the Metacritic and the Open Critic and whatever. That's not what we're talking about here. You know, we're just talking about, you know, what the game is doing and the feelings that it's invoking and the generational vibe that it's giving. You know, like this is like a generational game, you know, like, I mean, a generation defining game, I guess, if you want to call it, or whatever it is. Like, this is the type of game that I guess you want to say comes out every 5 years, you know, 5 to 6 years. And I think the reception itself and the way that people are acclimating to it, especially people like me who've never given a shit about Souls games, who've never cared for Souls games, who've never had patience for Souls games, this is why it's in that conversation right now for holy shit, what's gonna beat this year?
Exactly.
You know, so I see what you're saying, but at the same time, like, that's the thing, you know, I mean, like, I am a hardcore God of War fan. If you know me, you know, I mean, it's Master Chief, Kratos, like that's how I am. You know what I mean? And even still, as I know I'm gonna play Ragnarok, I know I'm gonna love Ragnarok, and I'm gonna love every second of it, you know, but at the same time, still, like, is that gonna do for me what this is doing? I don't know. I honestly can't tell you that, you know, because we'll get into it shortly. Anyway, yeah, that was tangential. Thanks for the comment, though. That was a good comment. Born Distracted. I appreciate it. Fuzzy Belvedere, welcome to the show, my friend. Good to have you with us. All right. So let's see. All right. Well, let's get into it then. What'd you boys do? What'd you guys play? What'd you guys how are we gonna do this? You know, it's like I can sit here and ask. How am I gonna sit here and ask you what have you been playing when we clearly know what we've all been playing, right?
Yeah,
like, how are we going to divide this conversation?
Well,
like Kevin, for instance, played Gran Turismo, right? I watched Batman.
Yeah,
and I played Elden Ring. So
yeah. Well, let's go with that. So I watched. I saw Uncharted. That was a movie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, what you think about that, Jordan?
Okay,
Just
so
real
I
quick.
would say that part of my influence in watching it was definitely swayed by the fact that I had a free ticket because of buying the Legacy collection.
Same.
The only time I'll really go to the theater to see a movie is if I really want to see it or if I'm just like super excited about it. So that helped sway my decision. I don't think there's anyone disputing the fact that it was very awkwardly cast. You know, you have like this idea that, like, okay, this is going to be Nathan Drake and this is going to be Sully? This is gonna be Chloe? It's like, okay.
fine.
Yeah, she's not as fine as Game Chloe. I'll say that.
Oh, no.
The story beats, again, without getting too spoilery, it's heavily influenced by A Thief's End and Uncharted 3, mostly just in set pieces, not so much in narrative. But again, it was a fun ride. There were some really weird like character arcs that occurred and some really cool set pieces. But it just doesn't feel like either of those two characters were really represented, at least given their due justice. But it's set up for a sequel, and I will, given what I saw from this, I would entertain at least watching the second one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I said there was a joke I was telling my buddies that when we went to go see the theater, like last minute, I was like, "Do you guys want to see the Batman instead of Uncharted?" I know we agreed to watch Uncharted, but but that didn't happen. And then aside from the obvious of Elden Ring, I did start Martha is Dead, and that is the one where the woman gets her face carved off and everything, and it is. I had never heard of these developers. I think it's LKA or something. They're an Italian studio. They're based out of Florence. They made some other smaller first-person kind of horror game, and this I wasn't really sure what to expect going in, but it is narrative heavy, like very narrative heavy. The first like 30 minutes is literally just like almost like a quick time event where you're just like pushing buttons and kind of watching the story unfold in front of you. But it's very, I won't say it's very interesting. It's natively told in Italian, the dialogue, but you can change it to, again, English if you want. So that was kind of jarring for me. I stuck with that for a little bit. Very interesting story, though. Again, it's all like World War II era. And the crux of it essentially is that you are a twin of two girls. And as you're basically doing your photography by the lake, you notice a dead body is in the lake. And you go to pull the body out, you find out it's your sister. And as you're like checking the pulse and everything, she like instinctively grabs her necklace and puts it on. And then all of a sudden her parents come down from the lake side. They're like, "Oh my God, Martha." And they confuse her with her twin sister. And then you start to learn that the twin, the one that actually died, that is Martha, was deaf. And I think she had a little bit of like a cognitive development disorder. So you assume the identity of your twin sister because of like just the reaction that her parents had. So you're kind of like trying to grasp like, why didn't she just say like, "No, I'm not Martha, I'm Juliana." Like, but it's very interesting. All this like family drama unfolds. Like the father loved Juliana, but the mom absolutely despised you, and it goes to some places that are pretty dark and depressing so far. but the gameplay is very deliberate. You have a lot of focus that goes into just operating this like old school camera, like just like photo mode from every game you play, but it's actually part of the gameplay itself. It's not terribly scary just yet. And I will just say, for anyone that cares, the face carving thing happens pretty soon, and it's not really all that it's cracked up to be. You pull the face off, you put it on, then it's over, done. And it's more of a symbolic thing of you're assuming her identity. But again, unsettling. Not the scariest game I've played, but I'm curious to get back to it. But again, Elden Ring has all of my attention. But yeah, that's Martha's Dead.
Wow.
So,
Next
year had a colorful way of describing Martha's Dead. He said it's an awesome sleep aid simulator.
See, someone else told me that too. It's a very slow burn, but you have to be in that mindset. I would say, not for everyone.
And what's this mindset exactly, Jordan? Just curious.
It's so think of like I hate using the word walking simulator, but it's very much more of like interactive storytelling as opposed to you just like actually like playing. Because like I said, the beginning is very much like hold L2, hold R2, hold L2, hold, as you're like basically like moving left and right. And
that sounds dumb. I know a game that was like that. It was called Death Stranding. Don't even get me started.
No.
Cool. Sounds trippy though, man.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah. Why wouldn't you just say, "No, Mom, I'm the regular"?
Yeah, dude. It's just
whatever.
That's
cool.
Crazy. Yeah.
I like
She's disturbed. She's disturbed.
There you go. Yeah. And is that what they're trying to pull off? Is that like the character you're playing like is like
Yeah,
You know what I
Juliana
mean?
is like basically soapbox. Yeah, she's trying to like she's like I'm in too deep now, right? She's like I can't tell my parents that I'm Juliana. It'll break their heart, you know. They'll ask like why the hell did you do
Weird.
this?
So let me
she's-
ask you. I'm sorry. So that scene, or apparently, I think I know the scene that was censored by Sony, and it wasn't really censored in a sense. It's just that
Cut it out.
I don't even know if it was cut because from what I read, apparently like
No, it's still there.
it's there, but instead of interacting with it,
Oh,
like say the PC or the Xbox
Okay,
version,
okay,
instead of
I got you.
actually
Doing
doing
It's a
the motion, you're actually just watching it. So they didn't cut it from the game.
Huh.
They just prevented you from doing that gristly,
Which is
thing.
weird because
And now that you've done it,
yeah.
now that you've done it, now that you've played it, because we try to be uncuckish here on this show.
Yeah.
Now that you've done it, do you think it's a big deal?
No, not
Do
at
you think
all.
it's a big deal? You watched it, or whether you actually did it with the joysticks?
No, and again, I think it's. Yeah, I think it has to do with just the fact that you're mutilating a dead body, right? And taking out that interactive element of it is what's, I guess, what kind of really unsettles a lot of people. I mean, for me personally, as someone that watches a lot of horror films, it doesn't really get to me, but I can see how some people might be like really disturbed, like, oh, here I am pulling the LT and then pushing the thumbstick down and it's carving this side of the face and then moving it this way, and it's. Like I said, it's there and then it's over. It was creepy, but it wasn't anything I would say that really disturbed me more than something that I've seen from, say, like Visage, for example. And that's just sheer imagery,
Just
right? It's not even probably interactive.
sense opportunity.
Yeah, from what
Exactly.
Totally a missed
from what you guys described about Visage, fuck that shit.
Oof, Visage is something.
Yeah, Visage is something else, Mo.
Hell no. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Good shit.
Yeah.
Great. I felt like it was a little bit much ado about nothing, but whatever.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. And then again, guys, we will talk. We're going to dive into Elden Ring, but if we talk about it now during the "What are we playing" segment, it's gonna fuck up the segment.
We'll never get back.
Yeah, her lady said something right here. She's like, "When I'm not playing Elden Ring, I'm thinking about it or googling things as I need to know about Elden Ring." Yeah,
oh yeah, lady, that's how you play it, baby. That's a part.
That's true.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's amazing.
It's the elephant in the room right now.
All right, Kevin, what are you going to talk about that's not Elden Ring?
All right. I'm going to talk about not Elden Ring and not boners. Gran Turismo 7. Which I did buy. FOMO got me.
Yes,
and what an amazing experience, man! I'm just gonna put you guys in the zone, okay? I opened up this new Tokyo track, and I'm racing.
Yes.
And fucking A, man! I got my headphones on. The Tempest 3D audio, right? I'm driving in the car as you should be, all right? No chase cam bullshit. And it's dark and it's raining and I'm feeling the road. You can feel the traction on the triggers, right? If you bump your car up on the right, only the right haptics trigger. If you bump it on the left haptics trigger. You can feel the loss of traction. You can feel every bit of that road, right? So now I'm vibing. I'm driving real fast. I'm doing real good, and I turned off the background music because I don't like that shit. And I just got the engine sounds, right? And I'm shifting, and then I hear thump, thump, right? And I realize that I'm going in a tunnel, and those are the like a bridge, the strips, the connector strips,
the strips that connect the ground together.
Yes. Thump.
Detail.
And I'm thinking, yes. And I was like, damn, man, they got this right. I felt like I was driving a car. And there are very few games that do that for me. Even and I went back to Forza Motorsport 7 on the Xbox, and now it feels dated. But I mean, that was my racing sim of choice, and the detail in Gran Turismo is fantastic. I know there's people complaining about this and that. There are minor complaints, but if you love cars, and you love driving cars on tracks, This game is incredible. So I'm really enjoying that. I got about 3 hours in. Some of the beginning quests are kind of slow and assume like you've never seen a car in your life before. And that's kind of funny, but whatever. There's this unskippable video at the beginning that I shit you not. It was like 10 minutes. I could not fucking skip this thing. So I got up, I walked away, I came back, it was still going. And, minor annoyances. But once you get in the game, it's good. The load times are fucking wicked fast from race to race. Just bam, you're in a race. Bam, you're in a race. Bam, you crash, you want to reload, you start it again.
Wow.
So that's been my little reprieve from when I die too much in Elden Ring. Aside from that, I really haven't played too much. I still log in to Lost Ark, and I play that. I get my dailies done and shit. But yeah, if you guys love cars, Gran Turismo, and you have a PS5, do it. I mean, it's a fantastic experience. I think it's their return to form. It brought back lots of memories from playing it on, the PS1 and the PS2, and it's just there's something about it. It's undeniably Gran Turismo, and I'm loving that. So I feel like that'll be a long, a thing will have legs. It'll be around for years and years, and I think people will play it.
That's great, man.
And we'll see what they do with it. But yeah, other than that, it's been Elden Ring. So
that's awesome, dude. I'm glad to hear that. Fuzzy Belvedere here. I'm sorry, no, not this one. My bad. This one. When he said the engine and exhaust is all the background music. That's how I know you love cars, bro.
Mm-hmm. I love that shit.
You know what I mean?
I love that shit. Yeah, the music is just a distraction.
Yeah, the music is just a distraction, and a lot of the time, a lot of the conversation, people don't understand. Side topic here. People don't understand that these little conversations that we have on Twitter is just a fucking sliver of the large gaming community out there. Gran Turismo has a huge audience. That's why it's been around for 25 years, and nobody's really looking at these conversations that people are having on, the clout chasing conversations, comparing Forza Horizon 5 to a simulator like Gran Turismo. We've been seeing that a lot. And I think it's pretty fucking pathetic when you do that, because they are two different experiences. Kevin, I know you can attest to this. A simulator is exactly that. It's for car lovers. Where you can literally alter every aspect of the car. And that I'm not a car person, so that's why I've never been into simulators. Now, arcade racers, I love. I'm all
it's completely different. You are not in the mood. You're either in the mood for one of those two games. Yeah. Right? Yeah. When I'm in the mood for one, I'm not in the mood for the other.
And
it's not how it works.
But of course people just have to fucking put them together, and they have to group them up, because of insecurities or whatever it is, and it's fucking stupid. You have an incredible arcade racer and you have an incredible simulator, and just whichever one fits your play style is what you would go. I played Forza Horizon 5 because it's an arcade racer. That's what I like. That's what I want, right? I want that fucking lush environment where I can drive through the fucking the whatever Mayan ruins or whatever. Like that's what I want, right? And whereas I have friends even here back home who are hardcore car guys, and they're into Gran Turismo. They want to fucking change the suspension. They want to do all that stuff that I just don't want to. And on top of that, just really, it's the way that it sticks to realism, too. Like you said, it's really something to be celebrated, man. Stop the bullshit.
Yeah. It truly is. Just enjoy the fucking game.
Yeah. Boogie says, I yanked myself away from Elden Ring to be here. Sir,
you are not alone.
We appreciate your sacrifice. We're yanking ourselves away from Elden Ring to be here as well. So just have to put it on. Good to have you here, man. Okay. Mike.
Yo.
What you been doing, bro?
Last time on Dragon Ball Z. No, I just jumped a little bit into Fighter Z, trying to keep up with the keep up. A buddy joined in and he was like, yo, dude, I want to check out Dragon Ball Z, blah, 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 blah. And so when you're a fighting game guy and you don't have any friends who play fighting games, it's like hard to find that like pick-me-up game where you can just like, especially, so not only do you need a friend or whatever to play fighting games, but that friend has to be as equal skill as you to even remotely have fun. Sure. So if you do have a friend, which I have 50% of, that does play fighting games, besides the Elu and like the real guys who play, but like, he's new, he's interested, whatever. He got on, and then it's like, you always go thinking about that it's going to be one way, and it's just... like, oh, I got this, or oh, I don't know what it feels like to be beaten, and like that's a big thing, you know. So like we got on, and I'm trying to teach him the basics, just like the regular moves and then the super moves, and that's all. Fuck specials and teleporting and countering and all that other kind of stuff, like moment to moment, like situation stuff. And I was like trying to tell him, like, dude, your characters are like kind of for people who are experienced for the game. And he's like, no, man, I'll be good. I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, man, trust me. Like, you want to start with Goku and Vegeta first, and then move yourself onto these like command grab characters and stuff like that. No, man, I'm cool with 18 and 16, and I'm just like showing him the moves. We practiced for about an hour. I'm like, all right, show me everything you know. Like, go all out, try to beat me. And I'm telling you, man, you would think, at least, at least to me, I was like, buddy, did you listen to any fucking thing I said?
No.
Because he was just, you know, because you could just start mashing in that game, you'll get your ass whooped or whatever,
like,
and then you could just tell. I'm just like, dude, you're dropping combos right there. Like, let's try to pick it up, you know? He's like, oh, man, you know, whatever.
It's like when Jordan tells me to do something in Elden Ring and
Yeah,
I do the
exactly.
complete opposite.
It is, dude. It is, dude. Like, how do you get to the castle? Like, just follow the road. Like, you talking about down
Yeah.
here in this this ruin area? Yeah, sure. Go for it. You can play the game how you want, though. That's the greatest thing. So, anyways, yeah, that was a good old time. And then just talking to Eli, I'm kind of looking forward to getting him in some sparring matches with MK11. But besides that, Mo, chalk me up, put me in line, slap my ass, call me Sally. I've been playing Elden Ring.
My
Just in case-
fucking-
Just in case if you guys don't
All
know
right,
that.
Sally.
Okay. Okay, Mike.
Oh shit, that's awesome, man. That's great. Good, great. Me. Okay.
Of course, Eli. Of course.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, obviously, like everybody else, Elden Ring. I dabbled into Halo Infinite here and there, a couple times. Had some friends actually who are very, very casual, casual gamers, and you know, some of them were kind of like bitching about Call of Duty, and they like Halo. They've just really haven't gone back, you know, and they're like, you know, Halo Infinite, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, well, why don't you? Oh, what a beautiful dog, man!
I know. Hi,
Holy
puppy.
shit, you really are dog sitting,
sorry.
man. Look at this guy.
Oh, hi.
Charlie.
Kevin.
I know. Sorry, I'm a dog.
Hi,
I'm a dog
doggy.
lover. Hi, doggy.
Oh shit.
Okay, come on.
I forgot what the fuck I was talking
Sorry.
about.
Call of Duty and
Halo,
Halo,
Halo.
bro.
Yeah,
Old
yeah,
friends.
So anyway, yeah, they were like, they're like, well, okay, you know, I'll try. We'll get on Halo Infinite. I'm like, yeah, man, if you guys want to. I'm like, I'm willing to pull myself away from Elden Ring if you guys actually want to. So these guys are like, oh, let's play ranked. I go, the fuck you are gonna play ranked? I'm like, I'm not playing ranked with you guys. You know?
Let's play
"Why not?"
ranked.
I go, you don't. I was like, play the fucking game. Learn the maps. Learn where the power ups are. Learn where the weapons are. I was like, you guys want to play ranked? I'm like, that's not gonna happen. So it was nice because they've been playing Halo Infinite every fucking night for the past week.
Nice.
There you
So
go.
yeah, I know.
The
I
link
know.
in the chain, Mo.
Yeah, I know. It's cool though, you know, because they're the you know, movement mechanics, all that stuff. We talked about before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Duty
so
peeps.
yeah, lady, I'm with you. I know. We all need some Halo, and hopefully soon, you know, with season 2, which we'll get into later. And then, my friends, I watched the Batman.
Yeah. How was it? How'd you like it?
I watched it last night. I went with my wife. I watched it in IMAX. If you have a chance to watch it in IMAX format, please do. Yeah.
I'm going. I'm gonna see it.
Okay.
It's yeah. You know, I try not to be hyperbolic or you know, poetic with these things,
We
but
want
it's kind
you
of
to
hard
be.
not to, because the movie is just so fucking good. It's so fucking good. It's just such a different take, and just a different iteration of what we're used to. And guys, I love the Nolan movies as much as everyone. I worship Christopher Nolan. Okay, I think he's fucking. I think he's one of the best 3, if not one of the, maybe the best director in Hollywood. My opinion, of course. You know, I'm just saying, like, so I get what he did to Batman and how he elevated, you know, the bar that he set with the Dark Knight trilogy. You know what I mean? So that's not. but this is not a comparison to that, right? This is Matt Reeves' take, Matt Reeves' interpretation, and what he's basing it on is apparently like it's so brooding and it's dark. You know, I mean, you don't have that.
That's awesome.
You don't have that dashing, debonair Bruce Wayne by day, wearing a suit. You know, talking like it's not like that. You know, I mean, and it's 2 years into his stint as Batman. You know, I mean, and it's a really, really, it's a deeper psychological dive into his psyche, right? Into his psyche and what makes him do what he does. And on top of that, he's a detective.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking detective. There's so much detective work. It's the way that they do it is amazing, right? Like, I mean, but because Batman is a detective, he's always been a detective, right?
He's
but like,
a detective ninja.
But they've never really dove into that. And here he is a detective, and I think it worked so well just because of the Riddler and what the Riddler brought to what. I don't know how they managed. I don't know how they managed to make the Riddler so fucking compelling and menacing and evil. Like, I mean, this is not fucking Jim Carrey's take on Riddler. This is not a green suit with question marks all over it. The way that they managed to this iteration of the Riddler while maintaining the essence of the Riddler, right? Like the question marks and the riddles and whatever, but making it feel so grounded and making him so fucking psychotic. I'm talking Joker level psychotic. It's incredible.
I saw that comparison to Heath Ledger.
Listen,
I was like, "What the fuck?"
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Yeah, let me tell you what you see in the trailer, the feelings that the movie invokes, you know, in terms of like the vibe that you're gonna get from the movie is exactly what it is. The trailer is not misleading at all. It's like that the entire movie. So, yeah, the cinematography is one of the most beautifully shot movies I've ever seen. You know, I mean, I still, if you want to talk about cinematography, yeah, you can go back to, you know, movies like Dunkirk. That's cinematography. You know, movies like The Godfather, 40-year-old movies. You're talking The Godfather Part 1 and 2. That is fucking cinematography. You know, and this movie is right up there in terms of how well it's shot. I can't say enough good things about it, but don't discredit don't discredit the movie by looking into it and don't look at it. Don't watch it with the intention of whether it's going to one up The Dark Knight or not. Don't do that. Just watch the movie and appreciate what it's doing and what it's bringing to the table as a Batman movie, right? And I promise you'll enjoy it much more. You know, one of the reasons why I say that is because I remember when The Dark Knight Rises came out and immediately people compared Bane to the Joker. I'm like, that's not fucking fair, because Tom Hardy did a fantastic job as Bane, right? Like, he made Bane such a bad motherfucker. He was so compelling. He was so awesome. And to just be like, and to just make it so arbitrary, it's just like, oh, he wasn't Joker. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Of course, nobody's gonna be Heath Ledger. Nobody's gonna be Joker. Yeah, I hate it when people do that. Great things on their own merit and what they're bringing to the table. Not everything has to be a comparison. Like Gran Turismo 7 and Forza Horizon 5.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, it's very, very good. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. My wife and I she sat through all 3 hours and she just adored the movie. She loved it.
Nice.
She's like, this is so good. So yeah, I hope you guys get to see it. I think I can sing about it for another hour. You know, I mean, I don't want to get into more details, but it's really
awesome,
really well done. And I'm excited for the future of this iteration for sure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like hearing that, Mo. Shit.
Yeah. So right here, I mean, even Soapbox, he says the opening sequence with Bruce in this film is quintessential Batman, ripped right from the comics. Yeah. Dark Batman is the best Batman. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. You know, I mean, it's special. It's definitely special. So I hope you guys enjoy it and see it. Okay. So with that being said, before we dive into Elden Ring, we're going to do our segment. So really, sometimes this is midway through the show, but because we're just all holding back for Elden Ring, we're kind of doing it a little bit earlier right now. I'm like, if you really want to, throw up the...
I got you.
If you want to throw up the screen, okay? This is Drama Alert! Okay, so if you're new to Drama Alert, we take some of our favorite dramatic takes on Twitter by some of the console warrior heathens out there, and we read them in our theatrical versions. What happened, Kev? You all right there, bro?
It's not me. It's not me.
It ain't me.
He's okay.
Oh shit, that was my. Oh shit, that's Mike. All right. Oh shit. Anyway, I need Mike to steer the ship. Mike, he's got the tweets. I guess I can keep talking about Batman. But anyway,
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay, all right, baby. All right. You good? You Gucci? You good, man?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right, baby. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go to the first one. Okay. Hold on. Is this no? This isn't the one I wanted to read. Go to the somebody. Oh yeah, right here. Right here. Yes. This comes courtesy of Anime Heaven X23. I think Microsoft is making a big mistake. Keeping Call of Duty games and other big AB games multi-platform. I think he wanted to say in keeping. Yeah. It's dumb paying $68.7 billion for not keeping them exclusive after the current deal runs out. Just my 2 cents. Nothing will change my mind. Nothing.
No, why? So?
God damn you, Microsoft. You stupid $2 trillion company. God damn it. What do you guys know?
Oh, fuck. It's always so good.
Okay. All right. So that was thank you. I appreciate your contribution.
He's come in clinch a couple times.
Yeah, he's come in clutch a couple times, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, oh yeah. All right. Next up is Jordan. Jordan, what do we got for you, baby? Well, did you want to do?
I'm not. What are we looking at here? Okay. So, from Rome, this is worse than bias. If you tell me it's their opinion, then you're a flat-out liar. This isn't reviewing. This is smear campaigning.
This is smear campaigning.
Obviously, we're looking at how, I'm not sure, whoever reviewer this is, Steve Yor, is apparently scoring Microsoft games higher than Sony games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Stevivor.
They actually got blacklisted.
Yeah, so the scores are what was given by Stevivor, and then what the Metacritic average is. The two numbers side by side. So people were building these lists all day. It's kind of hilarious.
A lot of time on their hands to keep receipts.
Yes. Some guy even made an equation on like the percentages, and it was blew my mind, man. Blew my mind,
dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me move before I move on. Lady said, "I hope you guys talk about that loser in the operating room." Okay, so we actually debated that, lady, and I didn't do it just because I think it's a fucking disgrace. I hope that motherfucker loses his license to practice medicine. It's a privilege that I hope he fucking loses for the rest of his life. To do something like that, this is a pure definition of a fucking loser. Like to break that fucking that privacy for fucking video games, for your clout chasing bullshit, and to show the fucking patient in the state that he's in on a fucking operating table just so people can. I don't know what the fuck he was trying to prove, but I really don't wish good things for that guy at all. I don't. So I didn't want to give him any. There was no reason for me to give him coverage because I'm in the healthcare field and this is not fucking appropriate at all. So without trying to, be all hyperbolic about it, this is fucking garbage. So no, I didn't want to. I didn't want to show him. I hope he fucking gets anal herpes for all I care. To be honest with you.
Pustules.
Yeah, so fuck that guy. Anyway, back to drama alert. Kevin.
All right. I haven't even read this one. So, from SPG Nation, is anyone else as unsurprised as I am that the Sony shill is damage controlling happen for this bullshit? A $70, 87 Metacritic banger coming late with this outrageous microtransaction? Get the fuck out of here. But as long as ponies refuse to call this shit out, Sony will continue to shovel this shit down their throats.
Oh
Now it's important to remember, or it's important to notice that he bolded ponies and Sony, so he really wants to.
Yeah, he really does. And this was for Gran Turismo. Yes, Gran Turismo 7 apparently did not send out reviews. The reviewers' copies with microtransactions in there or enabled.
That was dirty as
so
fuck.
people were losing. So people were losing their fucking minds over it, right? And I think that was the ammunition for GT7 and the release. Mind you, I mean, I'm sure that the majority of people are probably not even going to buy the fucking cars. They're just going to play the game and earn the money and buy the cars that way. But
Yeah.
Whatever. Microtransactions are here to stay for the time being. It's old news. Just funny.
Yeah. Upward boss. Yeah. Look, man. I normally don't really get into the microtransactions conversations. I've always believed that. I mean, it's not really a belief; it's a fucking fact. Everything is optional. The only thing I never really liked was pay to win. That's kind of where I am. But in terms of how much skins are or whatever, I remember all the hoopla about Halo and whatnot, and you want to call me a fucking, you want to call me a Halo stan or whatever, which I am. I don't give a shit. I'll fucking proudly admit it, but. You don't need to buy those skins, right? You don't really necessarily have to buy any of them. But with this, I do agree in a sense because, a fucking car for $40 or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's more than half the price. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
I wonder how much of it becomes pay to win because I'm pretty sure you could buy a car, right, and already be, but there's classes, right? So I'm pretty sure they probably accounted for that. But honestly, you could spend, $200, get all the nicest cars, and then start multiplayer and maybe, wipe.
What's crazy as well, man?
But I don't know how that works yet.
You know what's crazy is as much as there's so many conversations we see about microtransactions, and the funniest thing is, let's say you go to the Halo store, right? And then when you're buying credits to buy the skins or whatever it is, you can buy the credits 500, 1,000, 2,000, whatever. It says the most popular package is the $100 package.
Is that for real, do you think? Or
they always say that shit. They always say that.
Is it?
I don't know, man.
Right? That's a good question. Is it?
I find that in the category
here's the thing, right? Because I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, holy shit. I have easily spent at least $150 to $200 on that store. Right.
Sure.
And I'm looking at that. Initially when you look at it, you're like, holy shit, I can't buy it for $100. No, but realistically, that's kind of what you're doing. I think Ains can back me up here because him and Pampa actually have bought almost as much shit as I. Actually, I think we've all bought the same stuff. So I think Pampa actually, on the record, has bought every fucking thing that the Halo store has ever offered. So he's a legend. Yeah, he's a true degenerate son. But I don't know. But to say, it all adds up. It really does all add up. I concur. My son. Oh shit. Okay, so $40 for our car is ridiculous, bro. Yeah, they need to fix that shit ASAP.
Agreed.
But it's not going to stop. You guys need to understand. These microtransactions may not be geared for you hardcore fans, you hardcore players like we all here are, but there are a lot of people out there that are willing to buy that shit, and that's who it exists for. That's why microtransactions make billions of dollars every year. It ain't from the hardcore community, guys. We're a very fucking small drop in the pond, compared to everyone else out there. Don't forget that. So, yeah. All right. Mike. Roll the final drama alert, baby.
Whew, all right, this one's a little meaty. I'm gonna cut it down though, just a touch, just so we can get it on.
Wow,
It'll be a good little segue. It'll be a good little segue. This right here, my boys, I pulled it off of the Elden Ring Facebook website. They too like to make fun of noobs, just as any other Soulsborne fan. Trust me, guys. You're just bad at the game. That's it. All right. So I'm just going to cut this up. No big deal. It'll be a good segue into Elden Ring. Here goes. This has to be one of the most overhyped and misrepresented games I've seen during my tenure playing video games. I wonder what that is, to be honest.
Tenure.
Yeah. I am by no means a professional. Enjoy everything from FIFA, red side, to open world games like Red Dead Redemption. I was like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. The Witcher and Skyrim. I've never played Skyrim, so whatever. I was going to give him one. I was like, maybe this is going to go in a good direction.
It's beautiful.
I felt this game was promoted almost as a hybrid of some sort of these mentioned, except for, of course, FIFA, obviously. Unless you're a hardcore gamer or a fanboy of this genre and the manufacturer of the game, From Software, you would have thought you were getting something quite different.
You got to read this from your chest, bro.
I'll get to it. Elden Ring has no storyline, no real tutorial. My blood is on fire right now, boys. An open world where you can die almost immediately and have to restart. All right, I'll give you that. No apparent quest or side quest. Absolutely fucking false. And really no attraction or stickiness to the game. I don't even know what the fuck he's trying to say right there.
I don't know what
of course, unless you are a diehard fan of the genre, the open world is boring and it feels like a copy and paste of the same enemies, weird looking knights without the K, with no affiliation or meaning.
He just confirmed he didn't play the game. He doesn't play the game. Stop commenting on games you don't play, please. I called someone out the other day. He was talking about Gran Turismo and he's like, oh yeah, it's a step back. I'm like, have you played it? Oh no, I go to him, I'm like, show me proof you played it. He's like, I played it at a friend's house. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Get out of my face. I'm sorry, Mike. Yeah.
No, you're good.
They don't understand that they just expose themselves when they do shit like that. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay.
I was anticipating an open world with vibrant NPC characters, quest and side quest, the ability to build and level your character up without dying every 15 seconds, and some great music and storyline. Strike out completely. I wish I could get my money back, but this is a painful lesson learned to do my research before buying a game based off advertisements and mass appeal. A couple of the bosses I ran into are pretty intimidating, but I ultimately had to run away because they were too difficult to beat with my Wimpy Soul account. Good riddance to this dumpster fire.
Yeah, wow.
Good on you. Good on you, my friend. Whoever you are, I hope FIFA is fucking, making your world shine right now because... All right, okay, so bringing this up though, it's actually like the reason why I brought this particular one up is because I figured it'd be a good, somewhat small conversation about accessibility and easy mode for let's just say Elden Ring itself and not so much video games. Okay, let's just keep it simplistic. So I see a lot of people, obviously they get confused with accessibility and difficulty. Am I fucked up here? Am I seeing anyways? All right, so not only that, man, I truly think that this is why the Soulsborne games transcend your average video games. There's a reason why Elden Ring is getting so much praise right now, because they transcend the video game. If you don't have mental perseverance or the mental energy to think outside the box besides blocking and slashing, this game will fucking wreck you, okay? Yeah. And it will. Like, what this dude is saying, I hear the complaints, but there's just a bunch of shit in here where I'm just like, bro, I really just feel like you're not understanding the game. They give you co-op. They blatantly give you co-op. They blatantly give you a tutorial. I can see when you first get in there where you're like, I was told to, jump down there and start training up. I was like, do I really jump down there? I feel like this game is literally trying to fuck me over or whatever. And so I get it. No tutorial. It's probably because you skipped it, honestly, and you just went on the way through. These games are good because they're hard. but because of their difficulty, they give you the tools necessary, more than enough, I would say. And if you could back me up on this, Jordan. I mean, I know you're super fucking solo or whatever, but they literally give you more than enough tools to not only cheese the game, but to get help from not only summons or players, but you have like summons of your own to like play this AI computer co-op kind of thing, man. And when I see stuff like this, or stuff about the accessibility and stuff about difficulty, or whether they even understand the difference or not, like to me, there's a small bit where I'm just like, yeah, cool, man. Like, do your own thing. It wasn't your thing. Like, whatever. But to sit there and blatantly call this game dumpster fire or whatever that trash is, and it kind of ties into the whole, like, yo, I've never played Dark Souls games before, but I don't want to be left out of this, like, massive, like, train that this Elden Ring thing is on, you know? So it's like, I mean, we talked about it last time we were on the show. Like, yo, man, I hope you enjoyed the game. Not my cup of tea. Like, no. No, it could be your cup of tea if you're in a dark fantasy and all that other stuff. You get your little friend or whatever. If you're not completely into it, I get it. But you can't tell me for 1 second you move that camera around in a 360 pan and you're like, whoa, this is pretty fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, to me, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but get good. You're a fucking noob. And... And you didn't try. You didn't even try. You didn't even try to break the bounds of your own experience. You know what I mean? But with that being said,
let me, Jordan, before you give your take, because Luke here said, he's like, I know Luke has talked about this before about the onboarding. You know, like, I mean, about the tutorial.
Here we go.
So, you know, I found myself personally just you know, and disclosure, obviously, this is the first time I fully dive. I mean, you guys know, you know, but this is the first time I fully dive into a Souls game. So, and the weird thing is, Luke, like, I see your point in what you're saying, you know, about you know, a proper tutorial. At the same time, asking Ains and Jordan and Mike and Elu, you know, like guys who have been playing these games, you know, all of them, you know, for so long, and they're used to it. When I asked the question, these guys knew. Right, and they had just picked up the game, right? Like, I mean, obviously Ains reviewed it, but what I'm trying to say is, I think, while I agree with you in a sense that, like, it's not very easy to know, because I asked these guys a ton of questions, and I'm still asking them to this day, but they help my onboarding, right? Yeah. They definitely help me with it, but because if I was playing this game alone, I would have probably been lost. So from that perspective, yeah, I agree with you. At the same time, you know, I don't know, like, you know, when they said that this was a more approachable Souls game for the large mass, you know, I mean, I think I'm trying to put this into, you know, trying to make this make sense in a way. You know, I don't know if that was something that they had in mind in terms of, you know, the onboarding itself, right? Like, I feel like the onboarding just becomes something that you just get ingrained in your head with the more you play the genre, the more games that you play. It's not an excuse, you know, like, I mean, because I do see your point, but at the same time, like, if I look at these guys and they're able to know this shit right off the rip, I mean, I think that itself comes with experience, and maybe that itself is part of the game. Maybe that itself is part of the experience, right? Like, I mean, because these games are meant to kick your ass. These games are meant to teach you perseverance. They're meant to teach you patience. Yep. You know, I mean, and if anybody's learned that, you know, as a new player, I have learned that. And I might not. I understand, you know, onboarding versus playing. Yeah, two different things. But maybe that's just their approach. You know, it might not resonate with everybody. I understand. I understand why you would look at it from a negative perspective. You know, I mean, I can't fault you for it. But I'm just looking at it as, if you guys are sadistic enough to make people go through these, you know, these trials and tribulations and conquer them, you know, then what would be so surprising about them just being like, here's the game, figure it out? Not an excuse, but I'm just saying, like, you have all the tools that you need to succeed, right? So yeah, do I agree that it could be a little bit better explained? Yeah, but I also still see the other perspective. Jordan, my fucking son, you take over from here. What do you think?
So
Mike, you just opened up a whole conversation
You
before
did,
we
you
even
did, you
started
did.
going into Elden Ring.
I love it. I love it. So lately, yes, we've been hearing the word accessibility thrown out a lot, and I think the more accurate word now is like approachability in regards to this.
There you go.
So as someone that has played all of the Souls games aside from all of Demon Souls, I think that this is easily the best example in terms of how they can invite a new group of players to their game, and obviously that's evident in the fact of how many people are playing this game. Mike and I were having discussions privately before you guys started playing. We're like, hey, how long do you think? Who do you think's gonna bail out of this game first, Kevin or Mo? And I'm like,
You guys thought it was me.
honestly, yes, I did.
I
And I'll
bet
tell you
5 cents.
I'll tell you why. I think it's because Kevin finished.
Yes.
What's the name of that Crow game? That
He
fucking
beat, he
Crow
beat
game.
Death's Door. That's exactly what I said. Death's
Yeah,
Door.
but I beat Ghost Runner.
Ghost Runner. I hang my
That's
head on
true.
Ghost Runner. I did some free running.
I
and
said
beat
you,
the
Mo.
game.
I thought you were gonna stick with it. I thought Kevin would quit.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Jordan
wow.
thought Kevin would stick
Wow.
with it, and
That
you
is
would quit.
that's
Yeah.
awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I bet
love
5
it.
cents, bro.
Oh, hey,
5
man.
cents.
So
Damn.
anyway,
Did I win?
yeah. So yeah, 'cause obviously the fact is that this game has hooked the two of you, which has surprised me and made me so very happy. And then obviously people in chat like Luke, this is his first Souls game. My friend Mason, just the other day he bought it, and he's never played a Souls game before either. He's playing on PlayStation, and he's enjoying it. But obviously it's all new to him. But going back to approachability, and this is kind of like my origin story of the Souls game, which we probably have done before. It's not as dark as Batman's origin story, unfortunately.
Oh
but-
shit,
I
Jordan.
know. So back when I was a wee little lad in undergrad, I had GameFly and I rented Dark Souls. I was like, "What is this? I've heard this is pretty cool. I heard it's hard. I like hard games." The game literally creamed me, and I said, "Okay, fuck this. I'm returning this." And then 2 months later, rent it again, beat the shit out of me again, send it back, and so basically, I had to rent and play this game on 3 separate occasions before I finally. It's like, okay, I get it. It's clicking. Did I know what was going on in terms of how does this spell work? How do I equip this? Or why do I keep losing all of this shit here? No, but this sense of accomplishment is ultimately what is the rewarding aspect of this game that keeps people coming back for more. I think that the game does not need to have a quote unquote onboarding process because that's what makes it special. Not only is there a sense of satisfaction with beating difficult enemies, but figuring out how things work, or connecting the dots here in terms of figuring out NPC quest lines or who this person is. And don't even get me started on the cast of characters in Elden Ring. I'm lost in that regard too. But again, that's part of the mystery. Having an established community of people to talk to, that also is what enhances the game, and that is built into the game itself in the form of the summoning.
Yeah.
So you have to lean into those things to really figure out how to get the most out of the game and how to really kind of enjoy it. Granted, you can play it solo if you want, but again, you're missing a big part of that picture there. So onboarding, don't do it. This is FromSoft's bread and butter, and they're doing something right. They're doing something that's unique. We don't need every game to give us. Not that I'm saying every game holds our hand, but we don't need every game to be like, step 1, do this, and oh, here comes a log, press B to crouch. I don't need all of that stuff. I love that it trusts the player and their intelligence to figure out how to do something and how to accomplish it. Yes, it's hard, but ultimately, like you said, you have all the tools you need to succeed. So it's pattern recognition, it's attack recognition, it's type advantages and all that stuff, and it doesn't all come easy. That's for sure. But again, when you win, like, it's the best feeling in the freaking world. And
It's the best.
as someone that's sunk 90 hours into it so far, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What's that number, Jordan?
9-0.
I thought you said 19. Just
No.
checking.
No, but
9-0.
But yeah, I don't blame people for getting frustrated with the game at times. But again, it's if it comes to that and it's not for you, then that's fine. But again, don't try to tarnish something that's really fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Like that fucking post.
Yeah, maybe it was a troll. Maybe it was a troll. Who knows? He FIFA. Who's a FIFA?
Yeah. Let me highlight one of Mason's. He says, "I'm finding myself googling a lot to figure things
That's
out."
what.
You know
That's
what,
that
Mason?
transcendence, man.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Mason. I see your point. I do see your point, and I'm lucky enough to have these guys with me in a party chat every night because I don't need to Google. I can, I can pretty much ask them. So
Yeah.
if I didn't,
90 times.
yeah, many times over too. When you get fucking Jordan's, Jordan's fucking arrogant ass, I'll be asking something like, it's right there. How about you answer the fucking question, bro? I don't have time for your garbage.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, he got me good yesterday. I asked something and then I forgot what it was. And I'm like, bro, just answer my fucking question. But for all the shit that you know, with the onboarding and whatever, Jordan did make a good point. It's I've never had a feeling of victory, like I am with this. And we've all been gaming our entire lives. We played thousands of games. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is so fucking satisfying. Last night I beat the Everjail what the fuck's his name? The Crucible Knight.
Crucible Knight, yep.
I beat the Everjail Crucible Knight, and then 25 minutes after I beat him, I killed Margit. It's just unbelievably satisfying. Because you play these games, especially for newcomers, you're at this point where you're like, man, I would have never expected myself to have this much patience, and to anticipate, all these moves and to learn. Nowadays we're just like, okay, I just want to move on. I just want to kill this guy, and I just want to move on. Right. And this is not for you if that's how you're playing. And this was not for me. The point I'm trying to make is, I don't want everything to sound like it's gatekeeping, right? Like, when people say, because I'm starting to understand it. When people say get good, like as a joke, when you say get good, yeah, sure, it's a superficial joke, right? But at the same time, if you really talk to somebody who's not talking out of their ass, like these guys, or like Elu in the chat, who's a Souls, Elu's a gentleman as it is, but if you talk to them and they actually talk to you and they walk you, through what that really means, I know what that means now. Like, what it means is you have to take your time with it, right? Like, you have to appreciate what this game is trying to give you. If you want a hack and slash action adventure, this is not for you. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that it's gatekeeping. A game not being for you does not mean it's gatekeeping. And I learned that, right? I didn't play the Souls games. I played Bloodborne for 2 hours and I walked away because I fucking died from some wolf on top of a bridge, and I just felt like it was cheap. I'm like,
there you go, Mo. Hell yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore, right? And that was the last time I touched anything Souls related. Yeah. Until now. And now I'm 30 hours in and I can't put it down. And that's because you get to this point where if you do want to figure this out, if it is something you want to figure it out, it's incredibly humbling and satisfying just because of how much satisfaction you get from it. And I've crossed that barrier. Now, when people say like death is a part of it, you have to accept it. It is. Yes. It is. And once you get past that point and you figure it out, every time you die, you'll be like, oh, fuck, okay. Let me see if I can do it this way. Let me see if I can do it this way. Whereas before, I'm like, God damn it, fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore. That kind of like just goes away. It goes away, like it's a fucking sense of, it's like literally a eureka moment when you figure this shit out, when you figure out this formula. And I can't tell you how fucking satisfying it is. So don't look at it as gatekeeping. If you talk to a gatekeeper, that person's an asshole. But if you talk to somebody who will actually tell you what get good means, it's literally like you have to dedicate yourself to it. That's right. So yeah.
And Mo, quick question, man.
I went off on it.
Quick question. I got another question for you. Sorry, man. So now that you've made it to the stage of this fucking beautiful butterfly, all right. So full disclosure, I would love the truth out of this. No harm, no foul. In the beginning, though, were you like intimidated by the game, and were you like leaning on us just because like we were hyping it up? Like, no, man, it's a good game, or like obviously you were gonna play it in the first place, right?
So look, when it was first revealed. No, because I want to know, like, because Kevin is also new to this as well. Granted, Kevin beat Death's Door, which a game that I just lost patience for, not because of its difficulty. Right, because I told Jordan this. I'm like, I know I could have gone through it and finished it, right? But it just didn't resonate with me. Like, it didn't resonate with me to the point where I felt like I wanted to completely commit myself to it. You know, like, I mean, with this game, yeah, we were hyped for it, and I wanted to, and you know, we were all hyped for it. Everybody was pumped for it, right? And then I went through the motions. I'm like, fuck, this is a Souls game. Am I really gonna do this? Like, I mean, this isn't my shit. This isn't my cup of tea. You know, and the more I saw, and then when Ains started reviewing it and he started talking about it, and then obviously when the scores and the reception and whatever, I'm like, how can I go on and not at least give this a shot? There's got to be something there that I am not seeing or I am not appreciating. There's no way these games are consistently this good for me to just fucking be like, nah, fuck this. You know, like, I can tell you, like, JRPGs, for instance, I don't like JRPGs because I don't like, you know, the whole frosted tips fucking, you know, I'm not a big fan of the way that they tell their stories, you know, like that whole over dramatic takes and whatnot. It's just not my thing, you know. I mean, but with these, there's just consistent freaking quality in this. There's consistent excellence. And I got to a point with Elden Ring where I'm like, I need to try this because I have to see what these people are seeing. And if Elden Ring doesn't do it for me, then fuck it. Like, that was it, honestly. Like, Elden Ring for me was going to be the end-all, be-all when it came to Souls games. If this did not resonate with me, then I would have probably never given two shits about thinking about any more Souls games again. But you know what this game did now? Now this game is making me think about everything that I fucking missed. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, right?
That's how it goes, baby.
Yeah, I know. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go back and play those. You know, I mean, maybe I'll play Bloodborne. You know, I mean, or whenever the fuck I finish with this game, which will probably take me another 3 years at the rate I'm going at. But still, like, it's definitely an experience that I get it. I told these guys a few days into it, like, once I cracked the code, once I figured it out, I'm like, I get it. Like,
Easy,
now I
Leo.
get it. So yeah, that's pretty much how I'm looking at it.
What about you, Kev? What was
All right,
the?
all right, yeah,
I want to know how. Yeah, what
I
was
got a
your take
story.
on this?
love
All right,
this.
all right. So I was intimidated. First off, you can't pause the game.
I know.
What the fuck?
If I have to go
So,
pee.
and I've played games like that. I mean, I've been playing MMOs forever, right?
Right.
You can't really pause it. You find a safe spot and you hope for the best. Climb a rock and hope for the best. Hope you don't aggro anybody. But I was intimidated. When I came across that first camp, I got my ass handed to me, and I was in party chat with Jordan, and I just kept getting my ass handed to me. But then, you know, I started realizing that, hey, you know, those runes let me level up, right? So I kept leveling up, and I kind of farmed that camp, and it's so cool to see because I've had so many different experiences throughout, both co-op and not co-op. I ended up going through that gate, going to Margit, and getting my ass handed to me. And I knew, with my gaming tenure, I knew that I needed to level up more because I'm like, I'm not skilled enough to do this, you know, naked and with a dagger. So I went back and I farmed some more. And as I'm doing it, though, see, this is the difference between my experiences with the other Souls games. They're very linear, and the other Souls games I'd be going that same path over and over again, and that shit bored the fuck out of me. Here, I could be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go down this path. You know, are these enemies doable? Can I do this? And if I could, then I would, and I'd farm, and then I'd go to a little harder area, right? And then so I went back to Margit 4 fucking times. I went at like level 10, I went at 15, I went at 20, and then I finally went at 30. And yes, I did summon the little sorcerer that is alive for like 42 seconds. And I used my wolves, and I used every fucking flask I had, but I beat Margit. And I'm like, all right, that was fucking badass.
Yes,
like after beating that, that was amazing. And then what I've been doing now is, with the help of Jordan and Ains, I did beat Godric, and I'm kind of in that middle land where I've been exploring, right? And I've been opening up the map and seeing what I can do and what I can't do. And even when I go back to Limgrave, right?
Yep.
I find new shit that I didn't know was there, like a new dungeon or a new, road that I didn't take. And I'm like, oh shit, look at that. And there's always something to discover, which I really like. And Souls didn't really, I mean, it had some of that discoverability, but again, very linear. And you hit these walls, and they're much harder than the walls that you hit here because you can turn around and go someplace else. And I think that's what makes this more accessible to new players of this genre.
Yeah.
But now I'm going back, and like when you're no spoilers, but when you're in what the fuck, the round table, right?
Yeah.
And you jump off the balcony and you face a certain foe. He kicked my ass, right? And I lost all my shit down there, like 8,000 coins, because there's no way to get out. And I went back though. I went back today, and I fucking kicked his ass.
My man!
I said, bitch, I'm gonna get you. And he killed me like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know how to explain what it feels like to, you know, overcome some of these obstacles. It's really cool. And and I really think that that's what people, you know, that's the endorphin rush. That's the dopamine. And I appreciate it. I don't know that I'll ever finish this game. Maybe not. I'm having fun in it. I have like 35 hours in it. And some of these bosses seem really, really like, I don't think I can beat them. I've seen some clips of them, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. But I didn't think I could beat Margit. And I didn't think I'd ever get through Godric, right? Yeah. Or that stupid fucking invader guy in Beyond the Balcony, right? And so I think that's the key, right? It's pushing you further and further to do things that maybe you didn't think were possible. And I'm not good at this game at all. But I do like the fact that you can farm and level up, and that makes the buffer a little better when you're against these things, because I don't have the quickest reaction skills. You know, I don't have, I'm not 20 anymore. And so, yeah, no, I'm really digging it. I think there are some quirks to it. It's not a perfect game by any means. But overall, it's a unique enough game. It's not anything that hasn't. All the pieces of this game have been done before, but the way that they wrapped it around, you know, and packaged it, is what I think differentiates this from all the other open world games, all the other Souls games, shit like that. So no, I'm totally digging it. I like the co-op. I like that that's there so that you can call for help when you really, really are frustrated and can't go any further. So yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, it's a really fucking good game. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I'm not gonna call out Game of the Year bullshit, but I mean, it's a good game, like my buddy over here, Jordan. But it's a really good game. It's a memorable one, and it's one that I probably won't forget. Right? So I can say that. Unlike the gunk.
Yeah, right.
But you do remember it, though.
I do want to ask one thing, Kevin. So, because I know you've really kind of, this is the first Souls game that you've really kind of invested into. Does it seem, as someone that again doesn't necessarily play a lot of hard games, does it seem obvious to you, or at least fair to you, in terms of having to go somewhere else to level up to progress further? Like, can you grasp that concept? Does that bother you?
No, you know, and it doesn't bother me because I'm used to that concept. In any MMO you play, you reach certain areas. I mean, MMOs that don't level characters with you, right? There are certain areas that are off limits. You're going to cross a fence, an invisible line, and there's going to be a level 500 spider that's just going to fucking destroy you. And you're like, well, shit, I'm not going to go there, right? That's obviously not the path I'm going to take now. And anybody in an MMO can attest to maybe like being teleported by someone else, or like going in the wrong portal and ending up in butt fuckeryville, you know, and you're like, holy shit, how do I get back? How do I get back? Like, what do I do? What do I do now? So I like that, and I'm okay with that. I love it. Yeah, so I'm definitely digging it.
Yeah. So the mechanics that people get frustrated with are not as unique as we think they are. It's just, I don't know why it gets that rap as far as like it's just too hard.
It's a you know, Nix was touching on something earlier, you know, about the time sink. I think it was him.
It was.
I remember. Yeah. He said the biggest issue for me is time more than anything the game is offering. And Nix, I agree with you. And that's generally one of the biggest reasons why I avoided them initially. You know, I mean, I'm married, I have kids, I have a job. You know, I mean, my gaming time is limited to a couple hours a night. You know, unless I'm off on, you know, unless I have a weekend that's off. But you know, again, this game itself, you know, like when you start playing it and you start when you start seeing what it is that's trying to do, it becomes worth your time, right? Like, I mean, I fucking hate when, you know, like, I mean, I don't like it. You know, when people say like a game wastes, not Unix, just in general, like when people say a game wastes my time, you know, like, I mean, I don't think that's a fair analysis of a game, you know, like, I mean, it's not for you. That doesn't mean it wastes your time. If it's played and enjoyed by many people, like when these clowns started saying that about fucking Returnal, like Returnal wastes my time. Well, I mean, I know a lot of people who played Returnal and they enjoyed the shit out of it and they finished it all the way to the end and it was satisfying for them to finish it. You know what I mean? And with this game itself, when you start approaching it, you know, when you start accepting what it is that it's trying to do for you, you don't feel like that anymore. Right? Like, I mean, again, that's why I said it takes dedication, you know, to accept that. And once you accept that, everything just starts to become second nature. Like now, if I have a couple hours at night to play and I fire it up, I don't feel like I'm wasting my time, even if I die, right? Because again, like I've gotten past that hump. I'm past that point where I'm like, oh, okay, I died. All right, let me just fucking do this. Or let me go back and grab my shit, or let me bank my stuff. So when I do die, like I've been told by my friends, when you do die, it's not a big deal. You have nothing to lose, right? Like, I mean, when you get to that's really the whole concept of it. And on top of that, it's a chess match within your head, right? Like, because like Kevin was saying, to piggyback off of what he said, when you come across these hard enemies, it really is like it's a mental thing, you know? Like, I mean, because initially when I first started playing this game, you see a boss, when you see a boss or a tough enemy, you're like, oh my god, no, right? Like that's your initial approach. But then once you start playing, I'm at a point now, and I don't want to fucking sound, you know, not to sound cocky, that's not what I mean, but every time I come across a boss now, right, my initial goal, instead of being like shit, right, I'm like, I need to figure this guy out, right? Like, I mean, right away I'm like, I know I can take this guy out, I just need to figure out how. Right? So the element of being like, I'm no longer intimidated by these enemies, as tough as they are. It's no longer an intimidation thing. It's a chess match. It's literally a chess match. And that's why, like, when these guys tell me, like the Everjail bosses, for instance, I've killed 3 of them already. 2 of them I was I would probably wager all 3 of them I was fucking under-leveled. Right? Like the first one, I killed him when I was like level 12 or 13, and I had no business killing him at that level.
No, you didn't.
But I just stuck with it. And I stuck with it because every time I played, I kept chipping more and more and more away from him. I'm like, I'm going to get this motherfucker. I don't care where I'm at. Now, it's different if you're playing a tough boss and he swipes you once and your entire health bar disappears. That's when you know your limits. You're like, okay, I can't fucking do this. You know, like there's no way. But I love it. I love the chess match inside of your brain that you're playing with every single one of these tough encounters. And that itself to me is just really, really satisfying. You know what I mean? So I get the time perspective for sure, but you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You know, so and I think I've learned to appreciate that, at least with this game. It's fucking amazing, man. It really is. It's really special. And like Kevin said, it's not without its faults. You know, I mean, of course, it's got its faults, but, you know, or when people say, you know, comparing to, I want you guys' takes on this too, because, you know, the organic exploration of the world is something that I really can't overstate. You know, I mean, it's not the you know, a lot of people are like, well, what's the difference between this and other open worlds, right? Like, I mean, it's so hard to explain it to people unless you're actually playing it and experiencing it yourself, right? Like, I mean, when you're curious and you go, you know, and you find things, there's always going to be something for you to see. There's always something for you to do. There is nothing in this game that is a waste of time in terms of an open world. There are no open world tropes here. There's no fetch quests, right? Like, I mean, if you find somewhere and you want to go, it will be worth your time. It will be worth the investment. And if anything, it'll be a fucking, it'll probably be a learning lesson in a sense. You never know what you're gonna run into, and that's the great thing about it. If you see an icon somewhere on the map, you kind of know what you're gonna expect, right? Like what type of mission it's going to be, whether it's a fetch quest or whatever it is. But here, that doesn't exist. You're literally just going. You're going through the motions. It's the sense of isolation in this world, and just finding things out as you go and chipping away at it. I can't explain how satisfying it is. And I'm somebody who absolutely cannot stand giant open world games. I've walked away from all of them, almost all of them. Assassin's Creed, you can't get me to fucking play those right now. Horizon Zero Dawn, I walked away. Horizon Forbidden West, I'll probably go back, right? But still, Ghost of Tsushima, I didn't finish it. After dropping 60 hours on the first island, I walked away from it. I'm talking giant, obviously Ghost of Tsushima isn't huge, but it's fairly big. Well, they consider like Red Dead Redemption 2, just games that have a huge world just push me away. And this just keeps fucking pulling me in. And it's the experience, and I can't explain that unless you actually experience it yourself. It's so hard for me to convey that. So I don't know, man. It's just fascinating, man. Honestly, I was telling these guys yesterday, I'm like, I can't believe, every day when I'm playing this game, I'm like, I'm playing, I'm at a point now where I can't believe I'm still investing into this game. Right, Kev? Mm-hmm. Like, do you ever catch yourself doing that, Kev? It's just fuck, man. Like, this is a Souls game. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this isn't. This
every
this
time
isn't
I
us.
boot it up, I'm like, nah, man.
This isn't us, right? Like, I still think like that. 30 hours in, I'm still like that. I'm like, this isn't me.
You know what's fucked
but
up?
But it is.
I'll go and I'll lose like 8,000, 10,000 runes. Is it runes? Runes, souls,
runes. You got it.
And and then I'll be like, oh, fuck it, I'm done with this game. And then I'm like, well, no, I don't have anything to lose, so I might as well just go back there and start over again. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Jesus, man, it's like crack. Man. It's crack, and it's got everybody. Like on my Twitters, everybody's playing the game. Everybody's loving it. It's fantastic to see, and it's nice because it's been quiet on the Twitter space front. There hasn't been a lot of drama. So people are playing games. People are still sticking with Horizon, but everybody else that dropped Horizon for Elden Ring is really loving Elden Ring, man. No, I don't know. It has to be accessible. It has to be the most accessible Soulsborne game to date, because I haven't seen this. Because honestly, I thought these Souls people were fucking weirdos. I'm like, man, I know. And now I'm a weirdo. I know these people like BDSM. I know they like snuff films and shit. I just know it. And here I am. I'm those people. So, it is what it is. I'm okay with it.
Awesome.
I've grown.
Elden Ring has been so good lately that every time I see somebody else tweet about another game, I'm like, get this shit out of here. For me personally,
I'm loving wild, it,
man. I'm loving it so much, dude. I think Mo, you made some goddamn good points, my friend. So I think what you're trying to say about the discovery is like, I'm gonna try my go at it as well. It's like, because it's not labeled on a map or like in a map area or anything on screen, it's genuine discovery. Like, I think, and so it's like, oh, if I go beyond this shoreline, like, what's that just kind of on the side of the beach?
Yes,
like,
Mike.
Oh, it turns into a creek? We can go down here real quick, nothing crazy. You go down there, boom, enemy, whatever the case is, and then it becomes like this kind of frantic, like, run around thing. And so just for peeps in the chat who like don't understand like the community of Souls people, like, I just want to kind of great points. When they say get good, man, it's exactly what you say. It's not like, oh, get good, you suck at the game. And I definitely hope that I was not like razzing it that hard earlier, because I am like full of jokes and stuff. But it is like that bigger brother punches you on the arm. or whatever, and is like, "Hey, come on, buddy, toughen up, get good, like understand it, like it's possible, trust me on this or whatever." Like that's more what it is. I follow shit. I mean, I've been following the Elden Ring Reddit. Great thread, funny. If you want laughs and you're playing this game, go to the Elden Ring Reddit, and then Elden Ring Facebook, like. Everybody is in there asking for help and screenshotting their TV and being like, yo, bros, why can't I jump? Or why can't I roll? And all this kind of stuff, Jordan, where you're like, well, hold on, sir. But you also got 50% giving them genuine help, and you got 50% that are literally like, get good, noob. And it's just like a clowning thing. It's because you're in a difficult situation, which in turn, it's like, you're not the only one suffering kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's just everybody kind of like laughs it off and you go on with your day. You know what I'm saying? And you don't take it to such a point to where it is like super serious. You know what I mean? But besides that, I feel like besides that, and amongst a bunch of other stuff, there's a lot to learn with this game. There's a big learning curve to get into it. Somebody earlier said, like, it's not really like a hack and slash. I think that was Yumo earlier. And I was like, well, I mean, you can make it that way with enough levels and enough, like, a discovery of weapons and stuff like that. You can make it almost whatever you want. Like, in my mind, from what I've seen in the game, you can, no doubt about it, make a Wolverine from the X-Men build. What we were saying, potential Cyclops build. There was one more other build that we were talking about. I think Elu and I were talking about it or something. Like, you can make characters. It gives you this freedom. It gives you the freedom to be an archer or a sword wielding samurai or a great sword samurai, all the way to like waving a wand like Harry Potter and like shebang or whatever it is, And I think with all the elements, because I catch a lot of different games in this, like. All right, I know, like, hey, don't compare it to this game or don't compare it to that. I'm going to do it anyways, okay? So Neo brought a lot to the table whenever it came out. Still the same Bandai Namco, like still the same production company and all that stuff. Team Ninja, that is. A bunch of the, like, sword art or whatever you want to call it. Like, I was like, yo, dude, that's Neo. Like, they never really had this in Dark Souls except for Dark Souls 3, but they just, like, bumped it up in Elden Ring, which is fantastic. You don't get moments like you get in Elden Ring. Like, I would probably say I haven't played it, but Forbidden West might give you some of these moments. But, man, in Elden Ring, dude, you do not get moments like in any other video game like you do in Elden Ring. You like, peek that hill or you enter that boss room and you're literally so in awe by what you're seeing that, like, you're okay by taking damage. You're like, yeah, fuck it, okay, whatever. I just want to run up close to this guy, and get hit. And you're like trying to figure it out, like, okay, so it maybe opens up with this move, like I'll take a hit. I'm kind of planning going through all my flask during this run. The grace is right outside, so it's just kind of like a pep you up thing, And it's like that chess game you were talking about, Mo, inside your head. It's like a fighting game. That's what fighting games are, moment to moment, though, and take out the exploring and all that kind of stuff. But and that's what they do, man. Every little like animation or movement or frame in this instance, you got iframes when you roll or whatever. Like, it matters, and you could literally take the advantage of a fight just by understanding the game mechanics in themselves. Man, that really led me on to another thing, but we'll bypass for that. It has to do with game mechanics and figuring out as you go, because that's what is the game. Like, to add it to the pure discovery bit, like discovering the game's mechanics, just like Lady said earlier, like, yo, I just found out how to run. Like, that's not figuring out a boss, that's not figuring out anything, but that's going to change her game from this point on. You know what I mean? I really do think that if you look through all the brush and the shrubbery, not in the game, but this is like metaphysical talk, like it does really kind of say, hey, if this isn't obvious to you, it should be. Like, the very first enemy in the field at Limgrave is an enemy you cannot beat, the Tree Sentinel. That's the game's tutorial telling you, hey, you can run away from people. Like, no, it's not sitting there telling you on the fucking screen. Like, I understand, man. But that's why people are drawn to it so much, is because it teaches you without holding up a big yellow sign saying, hey, and if it's too hard for you, just start running away. Like, Not really, like you should just be like, okay, I'm not dying from this, but I definitely understand getting that lock in where you just respawn right there. Like, I'm gonna go after it again. I can do this. And then just get totally wasted for 20 rounds. And then you just being like, okay, fuck this. Like, I don't like this at all. I could definitely see that really like hammering home. Like, yeah, man, not today, but then that's up to the player, that perseverance that I was talking about earlier, to go out and explore and experiment, man. And that's what this game is all about. Just like Kev said, like, all right, I'm going to do it 5 times, see if this works, see if magic's weak, see if like my hammer can stun him. Okay, let's just go back to bleeding, I guess, or whatever the case is, And I think with all that, open world, medieval, it's dark fantasy. Like, bro, I was about to start putting white paint on my face, black around the eyes when I started playing. I was into it. But anyways, yeah, with all that stuff, it's hard for me to sit here and say that it's not my top 3 games ever in my life that I've ever played in my life. Top 3 for sure. Dante, Kratos, the Tarnished is like circling in that area, boys. Yeah, it's circling in that area. Yeah, man. Stellar, bros.
Jordan, I haven't gotten your full take on, because I remember you said in the beginning of the show, in terms of, you are claiming this as your favorite game ever. Right?
Probably it's
Yeah.
approach. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Just
Yeah.
again, I still not that that's like the only gauge you can use, but like
I know.
I still we've been asking ourselves the same question, like, when was the last time you've been so captivated by a game like this?
Yes.
And honestly, I'm hard pressed to really maybe. Gosh, honestly, I'm yeah, I can't even think of it.
Blanking out, yeah.
I am because that's just how absorbing it is. And even though I don't understand all the narrative stuff yet, but
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's what I was
so
gonna talk about,
that's a
story.
whole other thing. That's a whole other thing with that game. But yeah, just because just the sense of discovery, and Mike touched on it too. This the world that they've crafted here. It's not only is it big, like it's fucking big. Like you think you have any idea how big it is, and then I'm going to quote Ains here. Just wait. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it blows my mind with the level of creativity that these guys have, not just in enemy design and character design, but
Oh yeah.
animations of world. Everything is so unique and different, and it's so interesting just trying to figure out, like, it's much more than just what's behind this waterfall here. There's just so much to see and do, and I can't fathom how they did it, in what time frame they did it. And it's one of those, like I said, I think we mentioned the word. It's like this is a once in a generation kind of game. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes, it is.
that's all I can really kind of say without just kind of rehashing everything that we've already spoken about. It's just
That's all right.
Well, the thing is, no, I mean, you're because your take is, you and Mike, you guys are the Souls veterans in this group, so that's why I wanted to see, like, what was why does this do it for you so much, considering that you love this series, so, you love this genre so much,
Right.
So why this?
It is the best representation of everything that's good about their previous games. I think, when we use the words like magnum opus and all that stuff, like you have the stealth and traversal and verticality of Sekiro. You have the crazy, you have the crazy weapon variety and spells and player build that you've seen in Dark Souls. And then in Bloodborne, you have the world of Jigsaw, I guess. I'm just kidding, but you do have some of the aesthetic design that we've seen in Bloodborne. That's very much prevalent here. But if you want to really kind of boil it down, this is essentially kind of like the next iteration of Dark Souls. This is like a Dark Souls 4, right?
Yeah, like if it was a straight sequel, you would dub it as like this is a true
would.
sequel
But
to whatever Dark Souls.
But
was.
like literally nothing that we see in this game in terms of, aside from weapons, enemies, like these are all totally unique. I saw one enemy that is a throwback to the original Souls games, which is, I'm not sure if it's an Easter egg or if it's a connected world thing, but like I said, it's just the fact that it's taken everything that was fantastic about all the other games and it's literally just dialed it up somehow. I don't know how they did it, and it's just phenomenal. I just I'm
it
blown away,
literally
man.
looks like you're in a painting.
Yeah, I don't.
The graphics are
and
different.
We've used words like game of the year, but honestly, I'm like, we've all kind of talked about this too. It's hard for me to like grasp like what else could come out this year that's going to top what this has been giving me, anyways. But like, the hype train that's been around it and everything, that's just all the momentum behind it. Like, what is going to beat this? Like,
Dude,
maybe Starfield. I don't know. What is Starfield really going to do that's going to top this? I don't.
What is Starfield?
Like,
Right, exactly.
when I think of that, Jordan, like the instant game that goes in my head is God of War, and I literally feel scared because, dude, 2018 God of War was such a fucking masterpiece to me.
Yeah,
like
you're
you know, the
preaching to
character,
choir,
the
bro, yeah.
story, the combat, all
Yeah,
the graphics,
yeah.
all that stuff. You know, so it is like that quality. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But like when I think of God of War 2 and what I've seen, at least, like granted I haven't played it, I've played Elden Ring, but when I see the God of War 2 trailer, I am just like, man, like this looks cool. I like it because it's God of War and stuff, but like I do not see it giving me moments like Elden Ring. Like even
The
the dragon
reason-
in God of War
no, the
2018 was like, meh.
The reason why is because the feeling that you got for God of War and what it did, you know, when it reinvented the wheel for the franchise, right? This is a continuation of it, and that's expected, right? Like I know exactly what you're saying. You know, I mean, even you know, so I'm excited to continue the journey. Is it going to invoke the same feelings for me as 2018 did? Probably not.
Good
Right?
point.
Because
Good point.
that reinvented the wheel for the franchise.
True.
For
I
the
see what you're saying.
franchise.
Right.
Anybody says, look, it didn't do anything different. You know what I mean? So I'm saying for the franchise itself and the storytelling and the development and everything, like, yes, that itself completely reinvented the wheel. So they're continuing that. They're basically, this is going to be bigger, better, more badass. To quote fucking Cliff Blazinski for Gears of War 2. I mean, that's pretty much, you know, that was pretty much what he said for it. So I hear you. And this itself is why this is special, I guess, you know, because I haven't, you know, I mean, this is like the jump for me when it comes to experiencing open world games. You know, I'm not getting that. Ugh, this is a fucking open world game. I'm not getting that. I'm going around on foot. Right? Like, I mean, I'm telling you, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, so, this game's gonna take me forever, man. It really is. Yeah. So, yeah, it really is. Bomber, my son, I wish you were in here earlier when we were talking about, I know you've been talking, you know, FOMO and whatnot. I wish you were in here earlier and we were talking about our experiences, because Kevin and I really dove into, you know, about our experiences as new players, you know, and what made this compelling and why it continues to be compelling and how it pulled us in, you know, because we were kind of, you know, the same mentality as you when it came to these games, you know what I mean? So if you do get a chance to check it out, or you could just fucking rewind about a half hour ago. So it sounds like Elden Ring is a nearly on the level of Cyberpunk. Come on, Nick. Why the fuck do you have to do that, man? Well, why, bro? Why you gotta do that, man? That's uncalled for, man. He knows I love Cyberpunk too.
Cyberpunk stellar. And just for chat, real quick before we move on, Mo, just for chat, if you guys want to check me and Jordan out playing some Elden Ring, we do like some castle. We got a few other like gameplay videos if you want. I'll link it in the chat, and then you guys can feel free if you want to check it out.
Yes, please
Drop
do.
a like.
My son. Anyway, yeah. So no, that's. I think we can have a lot more to say about on it, but it'll take forever, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jordan, I want your take on this because you and I are the Halo fuckers here in this group. Okay, I'm gonna go around, but I don't want to fucking cop out from you because I really want to see how you think. I don't want this. Don't give me your fucking diplomatic bitch ass shit. Okay, like I'm not telling you to go fucking hardcore in. You know, I know how you feel. You know, I mean, you and I have talked about this before, but still. I still want to know how you feel. How you really feel. Anyway, Halo Infinite Season 2. We got an update the other day from Joseph Staten, creative lead behind Halo, if you guys don't know, the fucking father of the Halo lore. And basically, you know, they talked about the Season 2 itself. It's going to be called Lone Wolf. And they also mentioned it's coming out early May. They talked about a few maps that are coming out, a couple maps. So Yeah, Ames was talking about this, and we were actually talking about this in the party chat last night about the verbiage used, right? Because he says maps are coming out specifically A and B, right? Like, I mean, one arena map and one BTB map, right?
Mhm.
So that got us thinking. We're like, is it just 2 maps that are coming in season 2, or is it more? But he only wanted to reference these 2, so the rest of them could be a surprise. We don't know that, you know. And then obviously they're gonna keep filling in the with events and whatnot. And they also did say there was an amazing conversation this morning. If you guys missed it, it was a great debate between Travis and Hogue on Season Gaming. So if you guys missed that debate, it was really something special to watch. So I would really suggest you guys go there. But I just wanted to see how your take is regarding, like, do you feel like, I'm sure you read it already, you read what he said, and is that to you? Because look, we look at it, you and I look at it as like, okay, we love this franchise, we love these games, we love this game, we're gonna keep playing it regardless. We are those lucky people that just are happy with what we have, and everything that keeps coming, we'll take it. I'm in agreement with you there. Yeah. But did you look at this and still feel like this is, like, I mean, did you feel like this was at least a bit light on this was a bit light for the 6-month wait? Because I did.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm talking to my friends here, especially the guys who just jumped into Halo, right? And I'm just like, guys, just look, season 2's coming. They're kind of, they're going to fucking bring the heat. They're going to do this and that. And then I read this yesterday, and it's not a full breakdown. He didn't fully break it down, but still, I don't want to retread the same conversation that Travis and Hogue had, because that was just a very deep 1 hour long debate, because, they also said, because Staten also mentioned that campaign co-op, which you and I don't really care too much about, the campaign co-op is not coming when season 2 launches, but during the season, which is fine. Okay. And then obviously they talked about developer health and, making sure everybody's healthy and working, which is obviously important. And Forge is still coming in season 3. I don't know why people are fucking surprised, because when Forge was delayed, the first thing they said was Forge is coming in season 3. So, people are like, season 3? Like, yeah, season 3. It's been season 3 for 6 months. It hasn't fucking changed. So, anyway, yeah, my personal take on it is I hope there's more when they reveal the roadmap, because I don't think this is not cool. I mean, it's 6 months. You pushed this season an extra 3 months. You're putting shit in the store. You've given events. I get that, but still, like, I mean, we haven't had that. Our love for the franchise doesn't mean that we cannot criticize it. Where it needs to be criticized. And we still haven't had that wow moment in this multiplayer, outside of the fact that mechanically it's flawless. And how good it fucking feels to play. That I think most people who play it will agree on. So what do you think? Like, I mean, do you think like this is a bit bare bones, or should we wait?
Yeah, no, I'm underwhelmed. Again, there's no buts about it. This would sting a whole lot more, and I hate whataboutisms, but this would sting a whole lot more if I wasn't playing something else right now, like Elden Ring. I'm not gonna lie about that. There's no mince words on that. And again, and I don't look at it as like them not holding up their end of the bargain or their promises, in terms of trying to get the co-op to launch at season 2 at launch. I'm sorry, at season 2's opening. But yeah, seeing them just say, here's 2 maps, is there more? I don't know. They're very vague on that. I always try to look back and say, like, I used to play these games just for the sheer fun of them, because now we all say we try not to, but we're all playing this game to complete those challenges, to complete the fractures, to complete the battle pass, and that is once we're done with that daily stuff.
Me like that, Jordan.
We find ourselves like, well, my dailies are done, so let's go play something else now, and that is very much how my lizard brain is wired now. So there's no dispute, like you had mentioned, there's no disputing that mechanically it is the best playing competitive first person shooter. No one's ever going to take that from them right now anyways. But yeah, they do need to offer us more, and I think it's probably just going to be more of that growing pains thing. And I'm not that I hold 343 to a standard that everything needs to be perfect from the get-go. because I guess like we said before, what they accomplished was the hard part in terms of making this game playable and no bugs and just feel good minute to minute. And that's like I said, that's they've still done that successfully, but it's just they have to kind of give us more content now to back that, because my biggest apprehension or my biggest concern might just be seeing how the whole Gears 5 live service model in terms of their content updates, that was not for me at all. That was very underwhelming in my opinion. So I don't think there'll be a rehash of that, but again, Microsoft is still trying to get into their whole introduce things as live service because they want to keep that engagement, but they have a lot to learn from the other live service games that we see right now in terms of Destiny, which is huge, and then even something like Apex, which I was all about, and that had a really good cadence of content drops, I felt like, but a lot of premium shit there. But yeah, I don't think it's still not quite where I want it to be in terms of just the multiplayer offerings. I'm patient though, and I'm gracious because again, I'm the diplomat, and we have other things to play. But I'm not going to be, pitchforks and torches, being like, okay, we demand this, and this, because I feel bad for the Halo creators that do nothing but eat, sleep, and breathe Halo, because they're hungry.
Good point.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, man.
And they're going through a rough time right now. Like, you fucking shill.
Pat-Man is having a hard time with it. I know that for
really?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. That's the thing, it's important, it's okay. It's like I said, it's okay to mention these things. It doesn't make you any less of a fan, like to be a little bit underwhelmed. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not going to mean you're going to enjoy the game any less, but I think the reason why we state it is because we want it to be better. We want it to be bigger.
Yeah.
I want Halo to be where it needs to be and where it should be, right? And where it should be is in the same fucking conversation and the same numbers as Fortnite, as Apex Legends, as Warzone. Is that going to be a realistic? Probably not. But
if they add Battle Royale,
fuck Battle Royale.
Yeah.
There's. I just named 3 Battle Royale options.
Right.
So maybe Halo's take will be different. Who knows? But they're adding more modes. There's also like some type of last man standing mode that they're adding.
Yeah, I don't.
That sounds like a one player battle royale in a sense. I have no idea. So I'm looking forward to that.
The only mode I'm worried about, guys, is motherfucking legendary co-op, son. Spam 1 in the chat if you want legendary co-op Halo Infinite gameplay by us 4. Let us know. One in the chat for yes, 2 for no.
Yeah. So no, I think So let's see. We're obviously hoping. We're hoping to see that it gets to where it needs to get to, and I think it's fair to say that, because you have to look at this from a sense as, whether it's entitlement or whether it's free or it's a free multiplayer suite, but even if it is a free multiplayer suite, your main objective in this game is to bring in as many people as possible by increasing the offerings and driving them away from other shooters. And if you're not able to do that, then you failed to attract an audience. And obviously we don't want that. That's not something that we want. We want to see this flourish and succeed. So if season 2 does not, if it's light, look, the lightest season 2 I've ever seen was Apex Legends. It was a fucking joke. Oh my God. I remember there was like one character. They barely did anything to the map. And I was like, the fuck is this? What is this? You're calling this season 2? This is nothing. This is like a mid-season refresh. I don't know. Wiley is probably the biggest freaking Apex head here, so he might be able to comment on that. But Jordan, I'm pretty sure you played the game when it first launched.
I played the hell out of Apex.
And do you remember how weak season 2 was, or is it just me? It was weak as shit.
It was. But and then they slowly kind of got better.
Now they're amazing.
Map refreshes and whole new maps and
and
obviously fine-tuning stuff, but Halo doesn't have to do all that, fortunately, because like I said, what's there is perfect. Honestly, the sandbox is there. It's just we need new maps and we need more compelling cosmetics and more better offerings in the store. I mean, they tuned the price a bit, but again, the biggest thing is just more tangible in-game things, and
Sure.
with that being maps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You can tell this is their first rodeo in live
Yeah.
service. You know what
Definitely.
I mean? Like
shows.
you can just
Yeah.
tell. And I think it's just growing pains.
Yes.
And they're trying to get a rhythm and a cadence down.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be this way for a little bit.
Year
Look
and a
at
half,
Destiny. I mean, Destiny didn't launch like it is now. I mean, it was
No.
a fucking mess.
No.
So I think people forget. You know, some of the. It's disappointing, I guess.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah,
because people expected more, and they had a long time to work on it, so people did expect more. But it is what it is, and I think it is their first foray into this type of game, and it should be. In another year, in another 2 years, I mean, this is going to be a Destiny level type thing, right? I mean, people are going to be playing this 8 years later.
Yeah.
10 years later. And so I don't know, man. I hate saying give it time because
Right.
part of me is in the camp that it was still half baked even after an additional year type of thing, and I hate I get tired of the COVID excuses because me and you
I'm still
and
working.
everybody here, we're all still grinding and it sucks.
Yeah, we
And-
are,
and
man. Yes, we fucking are.
Granted, things have been, delayed and slower for sure, but I mean, everybody's still fucking working. So, like, get your shit together, get the boat straight. And at this point, I don't think COVID's an excuse. The health of your workers should be a given. Like, that's not something you just throw out there. That's almost like you're wanting some pity on that, right? It's like, no, of course you got to take care of your fucking workers. That's your problem, not mine.
Yeah.
Nick's actually mentioned that here.
So did he? Okay.
He said he's
Yeah.
throwing out the health.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
kind of weird.
development
It's
team
kind of
is
weird.
important. Yeah, he
Like,
said
of
it was
course,
a
the health of
cop-out.
your team. The health of your team
It's a
comes first.
PR
Of
thing,
course,
they have
it
to say
fucking
that.
does. But yeah,
Yeah.
totally PR. And I'm like, don't play that game.
Right,
Just tell us how
right,
it is. But
right.
yes, I hope it's more than just 2 maps. I hope that we're not super disappointed. But the season's gone long. People are running out of shit to do, and I get it. I mean, and I'm not even hardcore into it, but yeah. I think it'll be a different Halo in a year. And in 2 years, I don't know that it'll be recognizable to what we played.
You're probably right.
Now.
You're probably right.
know,
Look at how
so,
Destiny
we'll see.
evolved, and it's
Yeah.
it's booming. So that's exciting to
Yeah.
think about that. Not that I
It
enjoy the
is.
Destiny model.
I mean,
but
it is exciting.
yeah, just see how far it's come. That's awesome. So Halo, I think they said we have to wait a little longer.
And here, Wild Boy makes a good point too. He said Destiny is an example of a bad service model. I say that because they are
always
vaulting
does.
content people paid for and making it
That's
inaccessible.
true. That's
Also
true.
locks new players out of story content.
Yeah.
There are things that I think can be learned, both bad and good, from a Titan like Destiny, right? And they have that in front of them. Like, the greatest teams in sports watch other greatest teams, right? To know and learn. So they should be looking at. You like that sports reference, bro?
Hell yeah.
That's right. I am a
That's some
multifaceted kind
that's
of
some
person.
Nightcrawler
You
quote
are
shit.
not one dimensional.
I am not. No, but they should.
But I
They should
thought
look
that.
out there, look at the Apexes, look at the Fortnites, look at all that shit, and learn because they're the newbies now. Like they are the young kids on the block that should be sopping up this shit out there and to create a good game, if not better game than the competition. So
Yeah.
that's all I got on it.
Yeah, good take, man. Good take, my son.
Cheers,
Mike, you got anything on Halo before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just real quick. When I saw the news itself, I was like, "Oh, that's cool! Like that's right around the corner. Cool." I definitely see where you guys are coming from, Mo and Jordan. Little underwhelming, but the positive that I'll throw out there is that Halo got me off of Warzone, and Halo as a first-person shooter. That's the game I play when I want to play a first-person shooter. Still to this day. Yeah, we got playing Elden Ring or whatever, but if I'm wanting to, hey, let's shoot some stuff, first-person mode, I'm not going to any of those other BRs or anything like that like I'm getting on Halo. So in that regard, I could see where y'all stand, but as like a new player who is not that into it, who did get into it, I'm like, good on them. I'm just like, good for you guys. You need to get it together, like Kevin said, But yeah, it still has me, and I'm still interested in it, and I'm definitely going to be probably following it because I don't see another like solid first-person shooter coming out that has this much stay power. So yeah, I'm in it to win it with Halo. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully the show too kind of maybe kicks off something. I don't know what, how those things work. You get the hype from one thing, you're like, oh, I want to
That's
play
what
it.
we're that's what we're hoping for, man. So we'll see. Hopefully, and I think we'll hear something in the next couple weeks. If it's launching May 3rd, it's probably 2 months away. We'll see.
Upper
Mike,
boss. That's a joke, right?
Crossfire X.
Gotti 2022. For real.
Okay,
Oh,
just
awesome.
real quick. I've been disappointed with 2 games this year, and one was Crossfire X, which was absolutely awful. And the second one, I tried the Babylon's Fall demo. Just don't even waste your time.
No way.
Oh my god!
I wanted that
It was not
earlier.
good.
Oh, who was the sacrificial lamb that bought it in the show? Oh my god, they were here earlier.
They actually
someone
bought
was
the
playing
full
it.
game.
Yeah.
I'm curious,
so
honestly.
sorry. I
I'm
made
so
it through the
sorry.
whole tutorial.
Oh,
and
it was
I'd
born.
had
I think it
enough.
was. Wait, was it born distracted?
I think it was Born.
I think it was.
I'm
Born.
curious
There's
about
just-
that game. Honestly curious.
I really would like Born to DM me because I need to know how
Who hurt
and
you?
why. I have so many questions. I'm willing to start a GoFundMe. But yeah, Babylon's Fall was pretty fucking bad. I'm not gonna lie.
X didn't give it to you. Not that fucking X, bro. I'll tell you that much.
Man.
Definitely not.
That was
Not
bad.
Crossfire's X. Oh my god.
Gosh.
Oh man. Oh, that was
Boy.
great, man. That was a great conversation. Great show, boys.
Yeah,
Great
absolutely,
takes.
guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Who bought the Babylon's Fall Statue Collector's Edition? I did not. I passed on this shit, man. I will not support garbage. Fuck that. Anyway, yeah, guys. Thank you for everybody that came here. The chat was awesome today. It was great. The conversations were awesome. We had a lot of good takes. We had a lot of good laughs, and always appreciate you being with us, man. I really, really, sincerely love being with you guys on Sundays, and really appreciate you all coming in here and just making it all livelier. Just all the personalities in here in the chat is we do not take you guys for granted. I'll tell you that much. So thank you.
No doubt.
Thank you for being with us. I hope you guys all have a great week ahead. I certainly will, knowing that I'm off next week. I'm so fuck, man. I'm just gonna be floating. I don't care how much work I have this week. I don't even give a shit. I'm just gonna be like, I'm off on the weekend. I don't care, man.
Right,
Oh, you
man.
want to dump more shit on me? Sure, no problem. I'm off on the weekend. But yeah, man. I hope you guys all enjoy it. And for me and Jordan, Kevin, and Mike, we'll see you guys next week. You can catch us on Twitter, shit talking fanboys, and talking about Elden Ring, and specifically me. So yeah. So have a good weekend, guys. And
Bye,
thank you again.
Spermy.